ways to interact with something you love. You can be a fan or you can participate. I've been a fan for two things most of my life, entertainment and politics. I always thought I would be more than just a fan, that I would participate. But my image of what that meant on both counts was completely wrong. In high school, I thought I would be an actor. I was terrible at auditioning, but I thought I could make up for it by volunteering for all the play productions, finding props at Party City America and making sure they're in the right spot every night. I used a jade ring my mom gave me as the ring in Twelfth Night, and on the last night of the production, one of the actors stole it. I was finally cast in one scene in one play, playing a shy loner, which they thought I would be good at, because I was a shy loner. It just compounded itself, and I was terrible. I got 8 minutes of stage time, mostly standing in the background silently. I hated it. I decided to stop auditioning, stop helping with props, and just stop kidding myself. I decided to move on to my next passion, politics. I had protested against the war in Iraq, but I didn't like the way it felt. I walked out of the Embarcadero BART station into a sea of people protesting, and I instantly felt like my nuanced opposition was absorbed by the mob. I was surrounded by signs that said, "Peace is the way," and "An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind." I am an intelligent decision maker, someone with a nuanced view of the global political climate, and I spent most of my time next to a group of elves from Lord of the Rings, carrying signs about how elves only go to war when they have to. I decided that protesting was not for me. I would make change from the inside. And so in the summer of 2004, I became a volunteer for John Kerry's presidential campaign. I thought my life would be something out of an Aaron Sorkin film, but it was a lot more like The Office. I made phone calls, carried signs around Boston, canvassed door-to-door in New Hampshire a couple times. Now, instead of holding a sign that said, "Make love, not war," I was holding a sign that said, "John Kerry for president." And it felt like the same thing. I was just a foot soldier. I could help out, but I wasn't really contributing. It was hard to admit to myself, but I was miserable. When the Democratic National Convention came to town, every important Democrat in the country converged on the Fleet Center. Chris Matthews set up his hardball studio in the middle of Faneuil Hall, and we gathered behind Al Franken while he debated a Republican. We couldn't hear him, but he would motion with his hand for us to cheer him on. Somewhere there's footage of me behind him, holding a Carrie Edwards sign, and my mom was really excited when she saw me on the TV. All the interns got to go to the convention, and this was the coolest thing any of us could have hoped for. This was like the Olympics mixed with prom. All the interns in the office fussed about what to wear, all while gushing about who would be speaking. We got to be in the same room as Bill Clinton, Hillary Rodham Clinton, Jimmy Carter, and Al Gore. When Al Gore walked out, the room exploded. I think the 2000 election was still a really fresh wound for everyone. I got to cheer along with thousands of political nerds who all wanted the same thing for this country. It was powerful. I was in the room when Barack Obama gave his famous speech, when he was just a candidate for senator. He quoted the Declaration of Independence, and it gave me chills. This is what politics is supposed to be. It's supposed to give us hope that this country could be better, that it could live up to its own ideals. The last night, John Kerry accepted the nomination, the confetti and balloons fell, and there was such a communal feeling of joy and hope. I felt such a connection to this candidate. I had done part of the work to put him in that position. The next day, I woke up at 4 a.m. to set up for John Kerry's cross-country bus tour. My friend shook his hand and said, "Mr. Kerry, I've been working for you for 10 months." But he couldn't hear him over the crowd. I realized in that moment that I was not John Kerry's colleague. I was just another person in the crowd. I was a fan. Within that same summer, something cool happened. I met Rob Corddry and Ed Helms, then correspondents for The Daily Show. I was a huge, crazy, obsessed fan of The Daily Show. It allowed me to laugh at politics. I took a photo for another girl, and then I handed her my camera and asked if she would take my photo. And Ed Helms, totally joking, went, "Nope, sorry, one photo only." And I looked him in the eye, and I pointed my finger, and I went, "I will ruin you." And they laughed. Rob Corddry and Ed Helms laughed at my joke. That was actually the coolest thing that had happened to me at that point. Rob Corddry said I was funny, and then he took off his aviator sunglasses to pose for my fan photo. 2 years later, something even cooler happened. I wrote a fan letter to Stephen Colbert on the Colbert Report. He was looking for a new token black friend to replace Alan. I wrote him and said, "Hey, since you're done with Alan, could he be my black friend? I can offer you a Filipino in exchange." He read my letter on the air in his pitch perfect timing and informed me that Alan was worth 2 Filipinos. Or 3 Sikhs and a Mexican friend. This was the first time in my life I experienced something just as satisfying as it was exhilarating. I participated in one of my favorite shows. I had written a joke that Stephen Colbert read on the air. Today, I am a stand-up comic and an attorney. Everyone asks me which one I really want to do, which one's real and which one is just which one do I do just while I bide my time while the other one takes off. No one believes that I can like both things at the same time. But the big question of my life was not whether to be a lawyer or to be a comic. It was whether to be a lawyer or a Senate staffer. It was whether to be a comic or an actor. And so now when people ask me what I really want to do, I tell them I'm already doing it.